today's lecture, we will understand how to work with the functions in C programming. Okay. So what do you mean by function, first of all? So function is basically a group of statements that together perform a task. Basically, when we need to make a program in which logic is very lengthy, and we can divide that logic or the task in subtasks. So we can have different functions for each subtask in our C program. Every C program will have at least one function, right? Okay. So every C program will have at least one function, and that is main basically. The main function is a function which is every C program is having, and every C program can have some additional functions. Okay. So what is the need of the function? When we have a lengthy logic and we need to divide that logic in subparts, subtasks, then we can have different function for different subtasks. So what will be the requirement in our C program when we will use that function? Okay. So every function, before using it, we need to declare it. So if we are using a function, we need to declare that function, because compiler should understand we are using that function with a particular name, with a particular return type, and with the particular parameters. So we need to tell the compiler about the function's name, return type, and the parameters. And then function should be defined. It is having a function definition, right? That is what the actual body of the function. Here we introduce some new terms like the function name, return type, list of parameters, function definition. So one by one, we will understand what do you mean by function declaration, what do you mean by function return type, what do you mean by list of parameters, and what is the meaning of function definition. Right. In a C program, when we use a function, we need to declare it in advance before when we write the actual body of the function. Function definition means the actual body of the function, actual logic of the function. So before defining that function, we need to declare it in advance so that compiler can understand. Okay. So what is the definition of the function? A function is basically used for a task or subtask in our C program, right? So how to declare a function? Basically, we need to understand how to declare a function and what are the basically these return type, function name, and parameters in the function body. What are these? So whenever we need to write a function, we should write like this. This is the syntax, right? This is the syntax of function declaration. This is the syntax for function, right? So here we can see we need to define the return type. What type of value a function will return? This is the return type. Means what? Function may return a value. We are declaring a function that may return a value, and the return type is the data type of the value the function returns. Let's suppose I'm taking a function named add. It takes two integers and it returns the sum of two integers. So that return type should be int that time, right? Because we are adding two integer values and my function is returning the result of it. So let's suppose we are adding 3 and 4. So what we will get? We'll get that 7 as the returned value, and its type is what? Integer. So depend on the function logic, we will decide the return type of the function, right? Okay, what happens when a function is not returning anything? If function is not returning anything, we need to write the keyword void. Compiler may understand that function will not return a value. So when function is not returning any value, then we need to write this keyword. Void is the keyword. Void means blank, means function is not returning anything, right? Okay. Now, what is the meaning of the function name and how we will decide what should be the name of the function? Okay. So the function name is basically the actual name of the function. Let's suppose we want to add two numbers. We can write the function name add. We can write it name add two numbers, whatever, as our choice. But the function name is an identifier and it should follow the rule of the identifier. Means what? It should start with the alphabet. It can have the combination of alphabets and digits. It can have underscore. No other special character is allowed as a name of the function, right? So function name is an identifier and it should follow all the rules of the identifier. So we should choose the name of the function within the rule of the identifier, right? The next thing, parameters. Okay. So what do you mean by parameter? Parameter is like a placeholder. What do you mean by it? When a function is invoked, when we call the function, you pass a value to the parameter, right? So this value is referred to the actual parameter. So at the time of calling, whatever we are writing, we pass the value. That value is known as the actual parameter. The parameter refers to the type, the order, and the number of parameters of the function. Means what? What will be the type of that particular parameter? What will be the order of those 2 or 3 parameters if multiple parameters we are passing, and the number of parameters. Okay, and the number of parameters of a function means how many parameters we are passing. Parameters are basically optional. We'll pass a parameter if it is required. We'll not pass a parameter if it's not required. So we'll understand one by one whether there is a need to pass a parameter or not, right? So the function may contain no parameter also. Sometimes it may happen that function is not containing any parameter, right? What do you mean by function body? The function body contains the collection of statements that define what the function does. Like if we want to add two numbers, then what statement will have in that particular function? A plus B, and the result will be stored in C, like this. This statement is compulsory to write, right? So what is the function body? Function body is the collection of statements that are required to complete that particular logic. Okay, so this is done. Now the types of the function. There are basically two types in C programming: standard library function and the user defined functions. Now what are standard library function? As we know, when we start a program, we add some or we include some header file like stdio.h and some other also, right? So what we are doing here, basically we are including a header file. Now what do you mean by that header file? This header file is basically containing some library functions. Okay, so this is a file, this is a header file which containing some library functions. What are those library functions? These are printf, scanf, getchar, getch, getchar, getc, putc, putw, and many more. So all the input output functions are here in this header file. right? So this is the header file. It is containing some functions. Why we are saying these are library functions? Because we need not to write the body of the function for printf. We can directly use it. We need not to write the body of the function for this scanf. We can directly use it because we are adding this header file in our program, right? So we need not to define, we need not to write the body of the function. We will directly use it. These functions are already defined in this file. We are including this file and we can directly use these functions, right? So these are known as standard library functions. Okay. Now come on this user defined function. What do you mean by user defined function? As name says, these functions are defined by user, means programmer, means us. We are defining these functions, right? So if we are defining a function, let's suppose we are adding two numbers and we define a function named add, which are having two integers as a parameter and it is returning one integer as a result. So this function is what? User defined function. It comes in the category of user defined functions because I am declaring it, I will define it, I will call it as per the need. So as a programmer, I'm responsible to declare it, I'm responsible to define it, and I'm responsible to call it. In case of standard library function, what is happening? Only we need to call the particular function as per the need. We are directly using that particular function as per the need. We need not to declare it, we need not to define it. By adding this standard library which is containing such functions, we can directly call it as per the need. So this is about the standard library function. In case of user defined function, we need to declare it, we need to define it, we need to call it. So all the things done by the programmer, done by the user. That's why these functions are known as user-defined functions, right? Okay. So the user-defined functions, when we come into that, we can again categorize these functions in 4. Why? Because whenever we write the prototype, again new word, that is prototype. This word is new for it, you. Okay, so what do you mean by this prototype? Prototype means declaration of that particular function, right? Prototype means what? Declaration of that function. So for declaring any of the function, if we write the declaration, we need to write return type, okay, function name, and in parenthesis list of parameters. So this is what the prototype of user defined function, right? So prototype means what? The declaration for the user defined functions. We are on the user defined functions in C. So if we need to write the prototype statement, it means we need to declare that particular function. And for the declaration, what is the requirement? We need to write the return type, means what type of value that particular function is going to return. Integer type, it may pointer type, it may floating type, it may character type, whatever, right? A function can return a structure also. So the return type, appropriate return type, whatever my function is returning, and the name of the function means identifier. Function name is an identifier. It should follow the rules of the identifier. So appropriate function name and then the list of parameters. Let's suppose I want to add two numbers. How many parameters are required? 2. If I want to calculate and return the square root of the function, square root of a number, then how many parameters will required? A single number. So at that time, single parameters. Okay. And sometime when we need to calculate largest among three numbers, then how many parameters will be there? 3. Because 3 numbers are given to us, 3 numbers are passed here as a list of parameters, and I need to find out the largest one. So list of parameters means how many parameters will be passed in that particular function will be depend on the logic of the function, whatever logic, whatever task we need to perform, right? So come on the first category. Okay, no argument passed and no return value. This argument is nothing but the parameter. This argument is nothing but the parameter. So let's see here at the declaration part, what is it? Return type, function name, and the list of parameters. So according to this return type, according to this list of parameters, the function is basically categorized in these 4. No argument. Argument is nothing but what? Parameter. So no parameter passed and no return value. Means my function is not returning anything and my function is not taking any argument when we are calling it. Second category, no parameter or no argument passed but a return value. Whenever my function is not taking any value as an input and it is returning a value, that category come in this, right? One by one we will understand how these things will work, how this category will work with an example. Right. So the 4th category is argument passed but no return value. Means argument are there, list of parameter is there, but function is not returning anything. What will happen in that case? The function print the result inside the function. It is not returning to another function, right? And the 4th category is argument passed, means this list of parameter is there, my function is working on a list of parameter and it is returning a value. This is the most important category in general we use. Right, so one by one we will understand what are these category. Come on the first category, no argument passed and no return value. So 3 things are important basically: declaration of function, right, calling of function and definition of function. These 3 things are necessary and we need to write the statement for these when we are using the function. So the first come on the declaration part. Before using it, okay, so before using any function we need to declare it. Here what we are doing, we are basically declaring this function. So here function name is check prime number. We are entering a prime number and we are checking that particular entered number is prime or not. Okay, so in this program what we are doing, we are taking a number from user and then our logic is going to check that number is prime or not. For that we are following the first category, means we are making a function that is not taking any argument and it is not returning any value. Then how we will write that function, how we will declare that function and how we will call that function. 3 things are important basically, right? So first come on the declaration part. The function which is not taking any argument and not returning any value will be declared like this. Function name is there and in the bracket we are not written anything. We have not written anything. It means what? It means we are not taking any argument. We are not taking any argument, right? And we can see this void keyword here. Void means what? We have already understood that void means our function is not returning anything, right? So we can write the declaration statement here. Let's suppose we want to make a program for adding two numbers, then our program function name is add, and if I'm not taking any argument, then how we will write this function? Void add empty brackets semicolon. So this is what the declaration if this add function belongs to this first category, right? So this is what the declaration. In main, what we need to write, we need to call the function to check a number is prime or not. So at the calling time, I need to write the name and with the blank parenthesis, as my function is not taking any argument. It belongs to the first category where no argument passed. So we'll write this particular function with the name of the function with empty bracket and semicolon, right? So this is what the calling statement. So first is the declaration statement, that is clear to us, and the second statement is the calling statement, that is clear to us, and the third is the function definition. Third thing is the function definition. So how we will define that particular function? We need to write the function header then the body. So the function header will same as the declaration except semicolon. So all the things will come here like void keyword, function name and empty bracket. Curly braces we will not put here because body is associated with the function this time. So this is what the function definition, which is divided into two part. One is the function header and another one in the curly braces we need to write the body of the function, right? So inside the function we will see this curly braces is the premises of the function body, and whole logic will be written in this inside these curly braces. So as this function belongs to the first category where no arguments pass and no return value, so how we will calculate the number is where, and I need to check that number is prime or not. I don't have the number, means this function is not having the number. So what it need to do? It need to self put some statement and it will take the number from the user. So what we need to write here inside the function, we need to have the printf and scanf statements, right? So we'll declare some variables as per the need. Here we need to take one integer n to check that given n is prime or not, and I will require to put the loop counter and flag value which will be 0 or 1 as per the requirement. So here we are writing this printf, enter a positive integer and then scanf. So now my function is having n, that is a variable entered by user, and this number now will be checked for that is prime or not. So here is the logic to check that number is prime or not. So to check the prime number, we'll start my loop from 2, as you know the logic of the prime number, and it will goes less than equal to n by 2. So you check the all prime factor till n by 2. For every value of I, we will check that n is divisible by I or not. So what we are checking, if number is 5, so we are checking that it is divisible by 2 or not, right? Because 5 by 2 means 2.5, and if I'm taking it integer, it means 2. So to check this 5 is prime or not, we will check value of I is equal to 2. So here we will see that it is not equal to 0. So flag will be changed and it will 1 now, and then again we'll see the updated value of I, that is I equal to 3 for my example, and that is not, condition is not true this time. So compiler's control will not again entered in this loop, and outside the loop it will check if flag is 1. Yes, flag is 1 this time for the 5. So it means what? No, sorry, I'm sorry. Here I can see that this is 0. So 5 divided by 2 is not 0 basically. 5 divided by 2 is not basically 0. So here we will see that flag will remain 0. So for 5, flag will remain 0, and when we come outside the loop, we'll check that flag value is equal to 0. So this condition is not true. So we'll come here in the else part, compiler's control will come here in the else part and we'll check that it is a prime number. So 5 is a prime number and it will be printed, right? So same logic will work when we take another number, because n is a variable here. So like this we can write the declaration, calling and definition for the first category of the function. Come on the next category, no argument passed but a return value, right? No argument passed but a return value, right? So for this type of function, what I need to write? No argument passed means what? Parenthesis, small parenthesis will be empty. So when we write the calling statement, small parenthesis will be empty, function name and empty parenthesis. But this in this category, function is returning the value. It means what? We need to write the return type here. So this is how we will write the declaration statement for such type of function. And the again important statement is the calling. Okay. So at the time of calling, what we need to write, we'll call our function in the main function. Okay. And at this time, because function is not taking any argument, so we'll write the function name with the small parentheses which are blank. But this time function is returning something. It means we require some variable here of the same type so that we can carry the returned value. So here we have returned the function will return an integer, and here we are taking n is also integer. So the same data type variable will come here with the assignment sign, so that the returned value should be carried in this n, right? And then there is a logic of the function, okay, and will come here at the definition part. In this definition part, what is basically we are doing? We are getting integer. This function is to get an integer from user. So when this function is called, this is the header of the function, except semicolon, all the statement written here at the time of declaration will come here, except this semicolon. Semicolon will not come here. And inside this function, inside this body of the function, what we need to write? Get an integer. So here in this 2 line, we are getting an integer, and this function taking integer from the user and returning this n value to the main, because main is the owner of this function. Main is calling this function, so value will be returned to the n, right? And okay, so when this n value is returned, n is stored in this n. This n is local for this main, and this n is local for this function. So the variable declared inside a function body will be local for this. So the value of this n will be passed in this n. This is different n. So the copy of that will be passed in this n, and that value will be used in the logic. Again, we are checking a particular function is prime or not. Particular number is prime or not. Again, we are checking. So logic is the same, but here we are focusing how to write such function which are not taking any argument but having return value. So how to write such functions, declaration part, such functions, calling part, and such functions, definition part. Right, it's come on the third category, argument pass but no return value. So calling, come on the calling part of this function, because again we are using the same function, and we need to check that particular number is prime or not. How many numbers are required to check that particular number is prime or not? Only one. So this time we are taking a function argument pass but no return value. It means how to write the declaration part. We need to write void here because it is not returning anything, and the function name, and then what we will write here, in small parenthesis, we need to pass the argument. Here we are having single, so we are writing int n. If we write simply int, that will be sufficient, right? Instead of writing this n, what we can skip this n part. We can write only int. That will be sufficient at the time of declaration, right? So this is what the declaration and then the calling of the function, right? So at the time of calling, we will call that function in main function, and at the time of calling, because this function is belong to the category argument pass but no return value. So here we can see that we are passing an argument n. Here we are using, we are scanning the value of n from user and passing that value n. So at the time of calling, whatever value we are writing here, these are called actual parameters or actual argument. Yeah, actual parameters, right? So at the time of calling, whatever we are writing here, it is act as actual parameter, right? So like this, we can write the calling of the function. This is the definition of the function. This is the definition of the function. Okay, so here we can see the same thing, except this semicolon we will write here as a function header, and then this is the body part. In the body part, we'll write the simply logic as we have written previously. And my function is not returning anything basically. This time this function is not returning anything. Means what? We need to write the result. We need to display the result here inside the function. So such function are having printf statement for the result inside the function only. Right. So we have come to the category of third category. In the next lecture, we'll complete this fourth category, and next call by value and call by reference. Next concept we will understand in the next lecture. Thank you so much.